had the last urgent thing coming in, and so the
Oh,
answer
good.
it has gone out.
Well,
So
good.
everybody's happy.
Excellent. Well, good afternoon, Jan.
Good morning, Michael.
How have you been?
A little bit. I have a little bit of a cold for the moment, but it's almost finished,
Ah,
so it's all right.
good, good. Well, um, yeah, not good that you've got the call, but good it's almost finished. Yeah, I had a user group talk last night. I
Mm,
was at the North Dallas Developers Association, and we were talking about factory engineering. So I walked them
okay.
through building skills, commands, agents, workflows, and a whole lot of interaction. Uh, we went like 2 hours, maybe even
So
longer.
that was our talk from last week that you repeated.
It was yeah yeah. Our talk last week was you know, basically the first part of this whole thing. So
Mm,
um, so yeah,
I.
originally it was constructed from pieces of the Pluralsight course, and then
Mm,
I was like, these pieces fit together like this, and so I created factoryengineering.dev, um, and so yeah, then have been refining the talk, and yeah, we went through a small portion of it last week.
mhm. And was it recorded that one or not?
It was, yes. So it will be on YouTube within yeah within about a month or so.
Okay.
But yeah, there actually is a
Mm.
another one coming up. I believe that's going to be on the 17th. Is that Tuesday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
The 10th is a Tuesday, so 17th also.
yeah. So that's going to be with the Tulsa Developers Association, and so yeah, going back over that, and that one is going to be live. So if you want to stay up for that one, you've joined me at the Tulsa group a couple of times. It is a bit late
Hmm.
for you, but um,
Yeah, that's not bad. Only at that moment I risk not to be here, but
mm-hmm.
um, I can always. Anyway, I take my computer with me, so
ah, and it will
I
be
tell my
recorded
wife
as well.
it's important. So
Mm-hmm.
um, no, because I still struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been reading a little bit through documentation of Cursor,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, okay, let's be focused on Cursor, because even the things like the symlinks,
Mm-hmm.
to have the compatibility between all the different programs,
Mm-hmm.
that only doesn't complicate things very much. But if you take all these steps together,
Yeah.
um, that then it becomes complicated. So I said, but then I asked the question, why are we using all these different programs? Because we have all the models
Mm-hmm.
in Cursor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, the instructions around the models might be slightly different between Kilo Code, between Cursor, between all the other programs.
Yeah.
But in the end, like we now have skills in Cursor. So sometimes one is a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more advanced than the others, but 2 weeks later they are it's the opposite. So
Yeah. 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 I think to some degree that's true, and certainly as you are getting your factory started, you're focusing on skills, and skills are pretty widely supported. Um, so yeah, to that extent, I think skills work pretty similarly from one tool to the next. It's really when you start to talk about orchestrations or agents and workflows that things really start to deviate. Um, yeah, so there's been a lot of innovation on all these tools, for the past year or so, and um, and so like with Cursor, it was originally Cursor rules, and so you could have a description of when to apply the cursor rule and it would be applied intelligently, or you could apply it manually. And say, well, uh, in today's in factory engineering terms, an apply intelligently rule is like a skill, and apply uh, manually is like a command. Um, but they innovated around that, and meanwhile, Windsurf was innovating around workflows, um,
mm,
which in factory engineering terms are actually commands, not workflows. but um, but yeah, so they all kind of innovated and discovered patterns, and yeah, I think they're starting to come together, at least with some of the patterns. So yeah, skills
mm,
are across the board. Commands are a little bit different from one to the next, but easy enough that you can mostly satisfy it with a symlink, and in the case of GitHub Copilot, a script. But then once you get to agents, then there's still a lot of innovation going on. So yeah, Kilo code or Rucode that I started with, I guess it's been over a year now. That
mm,
was um, their boomerang tasks were the first, truly useful orchestration of agents that
mm,
I'd seen. And so yeah, I was trying to get everybody, hey, this is an amazing thing. Um, and then it was only within the past couple of months that I really saw Claude Code start to catch up and now even overtake Kilo Code in that area. But they're doing it in a completely different way. Um,
mm,
so with Claude Code, yeah, originally it was just subagents, which are agents in the factory engineering definition. Um, and then they added tasks, which are to-do list with dependencies. But
mm,
then um, they could orchestrate by assigning those tasks to subagents, which allows the subagents to run in parallel if the tasks don't have any dependencies. So that was kind of cool to watch. And then most recently with agent teams, um, so uh, multiple instances of Claude Code that are well, it could be multiple instances, or it could actually be in one instance. But the key is that the subagents communicate with one another rather than going back to the orchestrator. Um, so that's you know that's a pattern that Claude Code is experimenting with. Meanwhile, the others are starting to catch up with the orchestration idea. Um, so GitHub Copilot has agents, and Cursor now has agents. Their orchestration layers, in my experience, don't work as well as Kilo Code, and they're not up to speed with Cloud Code yet. So yeah, I think at one level, pick one and stick with it is sufficient. But if you want to see how the innovations are playing out, then you need to hop around from one to the next.
mm. Yeah, but to become finally a little bit productive
Yeah,
because it's changing even faster than I can forget,
yeah.
and I forget very fast.
There we
Uh,
go. There's the
you know,
title. Changing even
uh,
faster than I can forget.
and I even read some very disturbing news. That
Hmm?
is that Anthropics, they got into trouble with the government.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that
And
might uh, that might change because if they cannot have any government agency as a customer, I don't know what that would mean for them, but
hmm
that might change the field completely, I think.
yeah. 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 That is a an unfortunate strong arming. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. That's a little bit of an
Well,
extreme reaction to.
perhaps
Hmm
in Dutch we have this, what is it called? Spreekwoord, a saying that goes like the soup is not never eaten as hot as it is served. Yeah. So which means that people say things,
Oh,
but
okay.
the final outcome
Yeah.
is not as heavy as the way it is presented.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so perhaps it's just a political reaction here, where diplomacy behind
Mm-hmm.
behind the doors will settle things. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Let's hope so. Um, but yeah, OpenAI is just getting getting the open door there. So, um,
mm,
and yeah, I've even though um, the Anthropic models have really been my go-to models for
mm,
ever since 3.7. Um, the GPT codex models are starting to get to where I can rely on them sometimes too.
mm,
Yeah, 3.5 or not 5.3 codex. I've had some good luck with running that one um, for a uh, long running task.
mm.
So yeah, yeah. Even though the individual
And
players are gonna shuffle, I
and
think
and who knows,
we'll have some
if you
winners.
have two players and then there is a third new one who comes up and who
Yeah,
who becomes the, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
I
it's
mean, Gemini is. Um, yeah, Google likes to play third. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
mm,
Yeah, Google Cloud is third, but yeah, and Gemini is kind of the third place there, and really pushing the other two. So um,
mm,
yeah, and for some people they say, oh, I prefer Gemini. Okay, just
mm,
yeah, I think I think these models are just just close enough to well,
mm,
yeah, I don't even want to say that. The way that they reason and is not at all the way humans do. But some of them work well for certain people, and so it's like your personality and your style of working fits better with one model or another, and so therefore you get better results out of it. Because yeah, whenever I try Gemini, it's like it's not all that great. But others like, oh yeah,
mm.
Gemini is now the best one. So, okay, well show me. Hey, you're doing good stuff with it. All right.
It reminds me of the browser war long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, we will
Yeah.
see. One thing, last week you said that the context enlarged.
Oh yes,
So
yes.
it was 200,000, and indeed, by reading a little bit in the documentation, I saw that most of them standard is around 200,000.
Mm-hmm.
A few now have 1 million tokens,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to set the thing in max mode, which means you will be charged 20%
Mm-hmm.
plus.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. That is true. And for some workloads, it's worth it. But yeah, it was really kind of interesting. So the token window, it's of course a physical limit, but also there's there's kind of a size at which the quality starts to degrade, and and it seems that with the models that have been trained for a larger token window, that that size when it degrades is extended as well, and so you can do a lot more even with fewer than a million tokens. Um, and so I think even if you don't have it in max mode, you're still going to get better results um, out of a session that starts to fill up the 200,000 token window than you were with the previous model. I think it that feels about right, and most of this is just
yeah.
going on feel because
Mhm.
it's hard to peer under the covers, but
So by using agents, by using skills, and really making summaries of everything, um, the
yeah,
200,000 tokens window is should be enough.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be that as soon as I was like at 50% of that, it's like it's time to dump the context. But I've been pushing it to close to 80% of that token window and still getting good stuff out of it. Um, But yeah, the whole idea of skills is progressive disclosure means that it only loads specifically what it needs, um,
Yeah.
and so that really controls what gets put into context in the first place. And then with agents, spawning a new context for each individual task, that really prevents context poisoning, and it keeps um, the amount of information in each of those individual contexts very small and focused. So yeah, those two things really really do help to improve things, even as the models are getting better. Still do those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that's one of the things I discovered in the documentation. I say, but it's not for all the models. For example, Gemini is not having more than 250 or
Okay.
200,000.
Yeah. Yeah. I tend not to use it very frequently. Yeah, hadn't looked at if
Mm.
it had gotten on the 1 million bandwagon.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's one that's coming. That's a million.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So what have you been able to accomplish with Nowis using Cursor?
Well, I've just been reading in the documentation. I've been I've been trying to look into the skills that you copied last time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Trying to find out, and then until the point I realized, yes, but these were the instructions for the agent.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at a certain moment, I was so into it. I say, yeah, but oh yeah, but that are the instructions for the agent. Um, then I said, okay,
Mm.
let's just keep the instructions and the skills related to cursor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even the directory structure,
Mm-hmm.
you have dot .vs, you have dot .cursor, you have dot .vs code. Um, in the end, it becomes such a mess. Uh, Now, by looking into it, I start understanding how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but okay, then the next time I forgot about it again and I have to look it up again. So I'm going to try to keep it simple,
Yeah.
and really focus on not VS Code, on Cursor and
Mm-hmm.
Visual Studio, the two.
Yeah.
So Visual Studio for the visualization and Cursor for the AI.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep. I think that's gonna work well for you. Yeah. The
Otherwise, I'm not gonna be productive for the next year, and that's not.
mm-hmm. Yeah. The
I have
primary
to.
goal
Mm,
is to ship value, to ship software that your customers need, and so you can achieve that goal with um, with skills and with commands.
mm,
Um,
mm,
the reason to start to get into agents and workflows is that when you were sitting at the keyboard executing a command, watching the results, execute another command and watch the results, then at some point you get to where the results are starting to get predictable and starting to get reliable. Um, and so at that point, do you want to still be there at the keyboard typing in okay, here's the next command with this artifact and the next command with this artifact, or do you want to start to automate that, so pop up one level? Um, and yeah, I've found that being right there at the keyboard and watching the results scroll by, I've been able to catch a lot of things and improve the skills and improve the commands. So there's been a lot of value in that. But yeah, then on some of my factories, it has gotten to the point where um, I'm pretty sure this command is going to do the right thing, and I can pop up one level um, and then I can say, okay, I'm going to delegate that to an agent, and then I'll have a workflow that's going to use this command and this command and this command, or this agent, this agent, this agent, each one using its own separate command,
mm,
in order to move an artifact through the factory. Um, and then I can sit back and watch the whole workflow go and make sure that everything's good.
Mm.
Um, and so that's yeah, it's yeah, it's a good way to just let yourself go at your own pace and decide when it's time to go up a level.
Mm. One of the things I saw in the documentation, uh, which I think we haven't talked about, is the fact that you can start multiple agents at the same time for
Mm-hmm.
the same in response to the same prompt.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
In Windsurf, it's
is
called arena mode, which I think is a really cool name.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, what is it called in Cursor again?
just multi. What was it? Multi agent. Where's my cursor here?
Yeah, use multiple
Random.
models. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's here, new agent, and then composer. Use multiple models. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you can select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, the more you select, the more you pay.
Yeah.
Um, but the amazing thing, so there is this random factor inside, so that
Mm-hmm.
some of them get it right, some of them get it wrong.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm not sure whether this has value to do that. Um,
Yeah, I've used that to learn to as the new models come out to learn what they're good at and what they're not good at. Um, in fact, I might have a
with with different models then.
yes.
Yeah, because you can do the same with for example 3 times the same model,
Um,
and it gives you at that moment, for example, 3 different results.
yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I've got. Yeah, there we go. Let me share this with you. Bless you. Okay. So this is um, a cursor cloud session. Um, so like I said, I don't usually use these things in unattended mode. So just give it to the cloud and see it go. But yeah, in this case, I did it so that I could compare a couple of different models. So I was comparing Codex with Opus.
Mm.
And so the the prompt implements the MCP tools design MD using option E. If you read that document, there are several different options um, in the MCP server integration research. So actually, yeah, the research gives me several different options for that design, and yeah, I did that with both Codex and with Opus. Um, Yeah, let me set the stage by showing what those documents are all about. No, not now. Um, so we've got the MCP. Am I on the right? No, I'm in main. I need to be in uh, this one here. Let me make sure. Yeah, 1.2 AF. I think I need to be in a different one. Git fetch. Git branch dash dash all. And I want to be in the codex one. So that's, well, I can just copy it right there. Git check out that. Okay. So, yeah, the prompt use MCP tools design. So MCP tools design. So you can see this is a markdown file inside of my architecture folder inside of docs. So the pattern is all of my artifacts go into the docs folder um, based on what kind of artifact they are. And so this design document, um, this talks about how the MCP tools should work for Genetic Cascade, which I was hoping I'd be able to show, but it's only working on my Mac, and I can't share my Mac screen for right now. But um, yeah, so um, this is basically walking through what are the different tools that are going to be available through this MCP server, so I can inspect a CSV, uh, get a workspace. Um, I can navigate through the workspace. Um, yeah, I can build a pipeline, and so um, so it's like, okay, these are the tools that I need my MCP server to implement, and then and all of this was still interactively with Cursor. Then I asked it um, to do some research on how to implement it, and so MCP server integration research was this one. MCP server integration research. So when going through this, um, it said, okay, there are several different ways to implement an MCP server within the desktop application, and so gave several different options. In fact, on the first iteration, it didn't come up with the option that I ultimately wanted to use. And I was like, oh, I'm not really happy with any of these. I don't want to open up a WebSocket transport on the local machine. Um, yeah, uh, yeah. So MCP in-process server in the front end, not recommended. So it's opening up the application every time you prompt. And say, but can we do inter-process communication? So, oh yeah, okay, we can do inter-process communication through the file. All right, so an invisible instance of Cascade writes to a file, and then the visible one can see that the file has changed and update. So, great, okay, let's do that. So that is option E in this document. So yeah, I asked it to implement the design using option E in this document. Gave that to Codex and to Opus. And in this case, Codex actually did a little bit better. So I was able to look through the various. For some reason, it's only showing the MD files. But yeah, I was able to look through the various implementations that that they both made, and said, yeah, I like the one that Codex produced better. So yeah, doing this lets me see, okay, if I always rely on Opus, am I missing out on something? Can I sometimes rely on Codex?
So there you had two models which were different, but you could also choose the same model twice or three times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one.
Yeah. If you see, for example, behind Sonnet is checked,
Mm-hmm.
and behind you have one time. If you click on the one
Oh,
time,
I have never.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I have never tried
So
that.
you can, yeah. So there you can say, for example, if you take Composer, which is a much faster one, and
Uh-huh.
you only select, for example, Composer, you select four times, yeah, and you let
Yeah.
it run. It will give four times Composer with a different answer every time, and so sometimes it's
Yeah.
good answer, sometimes it's a wrong answer. Um,
Okay. Let me see if I can find something worth trying that on. Yeah. So all of these things are implemented now. Um, object naming. Actually, that one. Yeah, we do have. Yeah, this is pretty fun. This is only working on my Mac right now, so I can't really show this off. But on the Mac, it's able to take over the Mac and start an application and click around inside of it, and so I've set up a command that will test the application, and then write a defect. So it came up with these defects. So It even includes screenshots, so you can see it taking screenshots from the Mac. So this one here is not yet fixed. The dashboard name is not persisted. So I will say fix. Actually, I think I've got a command for fix. Yeah, fix defect at 004. So that's the slash command at artifact pattern. So fix defect goes into a lot of detail about exactly how to fix a defect. So first understand it, then write failing tests, and then fix it, and then verify the quality, and then report. So yeah, let's do that 4 times with Composer. Yeah, so now we've got 4 separate
Mhm. So every
sessions we
time
can
you
watch.
can every time you can say apply, unapply, and so you can jump from one to the other once it is
Yeah,
finished.
and then it gives you a little signal whenever it needs you to approve something. That's kind of cool. Yeah. So do you happen to know, it must be, if it's using work trees in order to do this?
No idea.
Oh, I see right there. Work
No.
tree contains, yeah. So
Yes, it is.
yeah, so a Git work tree is a a subfolder that has its own separate branch. So you can work inside of that work tree without messing up the others. So actually, allow list. I want to edit the allow list to add vtest run. Otherwise, I'm going to be clicking this run button over and over again. Yeah. Okay, you know what? Just for this once, let's run everything. Yeah, and then unblocks all of them.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can see with a command, so slash command add artifact, it's got so much um, uh, constraints around it that I could see all of these doing something that was satisfactory. Um, but yeah, I could also see yeah, starting 4 different sessions with more of a loose task, maybe a design task of make this website look better, and then it would um,
In, indeed, they are. It's much more towards the feeling that you have about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you can try the different scenarios. Like I did there was one yeah, trying to find where that was. But yeah, while I was doing, oh, it's not inside a Cascade. Um, while I was working on factory engineering, um, I had a design type of question, and I didn't do it like this, but instead I asked the one agent to give me several different designs. So so from that, it produced a single image that had multiple designs in it, and I was able to select. So let's see if I can. Oops, keep on hitting the wrong key combination there. You go away. All right. Yeah. So in here, it's docs design. No, it wasn't there. Um, hmm. Oh, okay. We put it at the root. So yeah, I was working on the logo, and I said, yeah, try different gradients for this logo.
Mm.
And I don't know why it's taking so long to load a PNG, but if I double click, There it is. Come on. Why is this thing? Come on. I am just having the hardest time with opening this PNG. Okay.
It's a small file.
Yeah. There it is. All right.
Okay.
So yeah. So I first had it suggest different gradients, and so it came up with these various names. Wow, it's even slow to zoom in. There we go. So yeah, I came up with arc weld and forge fire and coolant and steel chrome, based on the factory theme. It's like, yeah, you're talking about factories. Let's come up with these cool names, and then and these colors. And I was like, man, help me visualize that. So yeah, put together these this card, light and dark mode, and yeah. So then I picked one. I actually picked the blue one, arc weld, and said, go ahead and apply that. I was actually at dinner with my wife, and sitting on my phone, and she said, hey, look at these. So yeah, I said, go ahead and apply the arc weld, and said, look at that, it just updated the website. And she says, well, I like the orange one better. So okay, now it's orange.
But actually, so if you ask the same agent to give different to propose different concepts, then they will be very different. While if you run the same model, for example, 4 times, you might have results which are very close to each other, and other results which are completely different, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to try that out, and I think a lot of it does have to do with how specific you're being. So, like in this case, I was being very specific with this this command. It's a very long command. But nevertheless, one of them got a thumbs up. I don't know if that means I get to say thumbs up, or if it thinks that was the best solution.
Anyway, that's the biggest one. He added 194 lines.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the smallest one. So it's got passing tests. With that one, it added 5 tests. Yeah, it shouldn't take too many tests in order to do this. Yeah, so now we should be able to... Wow, that's a lot of files changed. Really? Yeah, okay, so I guess some of the changes... Well, let me hit the review button here. And now we can actually just see the various changes. So, yeah, there's our tests. So a couple of tests about parsing the dashboard name. Should emit a dashboard name when provided. Round trip. And here we're updating the emitter so that it emits the dashboard name. Yeah, at some point, it did update the markdown file. Yeah, so here's the language definition. So we went from dashboard name to dashboard ID and then display name, which is consistent with the other ways of or the other kind of objects inside of this language. So yeah, dashboard 1, payment analysis. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this is very misleading because the diff only shows these changes, and yeah, that seems reasonable. What it actually did. So yeah, I'm not sure what all these others are. or maybe, hmm, are these the same? Here's aggregator language MD. Interesting.
No, no, because
No, those are
if
different.
if
Yeah.
you if you go back to that list,
Uh huh.
you see the, for example, the first four files, they have plus
Oh,
and minuses.
yeah.
But the other files, like aggregator parser test,
Mm-hmm.
there are no changes. So I think these are all the files, but not all the files have been modified.
Yeah, but that's the same name as that one, and then emitter test. So it's like it repeated these file names, or at least some of
Oh,
them,
yeah,
multiple times. Yeah, which
that's
yeah,
funny.
but I repeated them 4 times. So I'm wondering if the names of the files that changed leaked into this one. But yeah, that's just showing these changes. So which look like pretty much the same changes. It didn't get quite as thorough, so it didn't update the. Um, yeah, if we took a look at the language, uh, yeah, for the language definition, it didn't update the examples and that kind of thing. So yeah, that one gets a thumbs down. Um, and then there's no way to just say thumbs down. You have to look through them all and then pick the thumbs up, I guess. Yeah. So this one we've got tests, and then yeah, implementation, and this one updated the defect, but yeah, and it did update the example. So this one did a pretty good job as well. Okay, so yeah, I think given the fact that yeah, same set of changes. So I think
Mm.
given the fact that that I had it so tightly constrained, um, there was not too much room for variance. Nevertheless, that is the winner. Ding.
Mhm.
So now
Yeah, but
I
that
commit.
means that if you give good instructions,
Mm-hmm.
the result has to be good, or the chances for good results are very high.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Mm.
Yeah, that is the whole idea of building the factory around the model. Make sure those instructions are good.
Because in the demo that I saw about this, it was just fixing bugs in software without any skills,
Mm.
without any special guidelines, any rules,
Yeah,
and they saw very different results. In some cases, the bugs were fixed. In other cases, there were even more bugs
yeah,
introduced. So,
yeah. And that does seem to be the way that most people use these tools, and it's
mm.
yeah, it's. I'm hoping to change that.
In the beginning, I was wondering why do we build all these guidance around it? Um, but more and more, I'm convinced
Mm-hmm.
that that's the way to get there.
Yeah, yeah, and that really just comes from the way that these things are trained. It's like here's a whole bunch of examples of people writing code, and it's just spreading that across bread, like taking the average of how everybody does software, and so yeah, when you just ask with no guidance, you're going to get average results. Um, but yeah, that specific guidance indexes into part of that distribution where somebody followed a particular practice. So um, you know guidance around use the solid principles, and here's a quick definition of what they are. Then it's like okay, that's an example of you know of the open close principle over there. So I'm going to include that one. But this one, we've got a lot of duplicated code. So um, so it's not really following those principles, and so I'm not going to weigh that one quite as much. Um, so yeah, all of the stuff that you are looking for is in there. It's just using that structure in order to pick out what's most important to you.
I think I'm gonna add in a skill. Go to the repositories of Michael Perry and follow the patterns that you can find there, and it will
Mm-hmm.
be okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually very close to the way that I built the Janaga .NET skill. Is you know I got into yeah I got into Cursor and pulled in one of my you know, I think it might have been Blog Maui, but yeah, one of my Janaga.net applications, and um, and then I said, tell me about the patterns you see here, and um, it searched through the code base, it found some patterns, and then I had to correct it because it interpreted some patterns in different ways, and it's like, no, let me tell you the reason behind this, um, and uh, and then once I had a pretty, it was able to tell me a pretty good picture of what I wanted. Then I was able to say, create a skill to capture these opinions, and then I could take that skill and then pop that into Nowis and say, all right, let's create some view models, and hey, they're coming up. Um, so okay, publish that.
Yeah, but perhaps just pointing the model to some GitHub repositories of very high skilled
Mm-hmm.
programmers might be enough to get good results.
Yeah, I think you do want to go through that stage of so you're gathering the ingredients, then you do want to pick the right ingredients and then bake them. Um, you know, let that bake, and now take that final loaf and use that
to
as the
to
skill.
have to
Yeah,
have a context which is smaller.
yeah, yeah. Rather than the skill be just look at those repositories, because yeah, every
Mm-hmm.
time you're using the skill, is say, oh, let me go ahead and search those repositories. Oh, let me try to. And so yeah, you're loading all of their stuff into context versus boiling it down. Um, so yeah, the that kind of harkens back to that idea of uh, summarization. So you start to use your context, and then as soon as you reach a certain point, it's going to summarize. Um, the summary that it comes up with is just going to be whatever it can find in that context. It might be some of the wrong things, and it might be some of the things you want, and it might completely forget other things. Um, but uh, but if you control the summary, then you can fine tune that. So
Yeah.
so yeah, this technique of you know review that code interactively and then create the skill, you are controlling the summary because you're interacting until you get to that point, and then you're reviewing the skill, you're reading through the markdown. Um, but then another technique with respect to artifacts is I want to do some analysis interactively and see if I can find a problem. Okay, now you have identified the problem. Now write a markdown file right here into this repository with that analysis. So that's what the docs/analysis folder ends up getting filled with. So now I can take that huge context of just searching around and dump that, and now I just have the analysis, which is summarized to the findings. And I've already gone through the process of reviewing that, and I know that those are good findings.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the meta pattern. All of the skills and commands and agents and workflows, they're all that pattern over and over again of choosing what context and how to inject it. Um, so so yeah, as these IDEs innovate, they'll come up with new ways of doing basically that. And so I may have to apply a different label within factory engineering and say, oh, okay, now there's a fifth box. I don't know what that's going to be, but yeah, there's another way for you to summarize context, put it somewhere, and then reuse it later.
Mm-hmm.
So just right now, the factory metaphor is just really good. So some of those summarizations are factory components, and some of them are artifacts. So the artifacts move through the factory. So that's why I really
Mm-hmm.
like that symbol of /command. So that's which factory component at artifact. So which artifact. So as they move through, you're just applying this context and this context, Now this one and this one. Boom, boom.
Yeah,
And all that can be done with cursor.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky. That's already more than difficult enough. Yeah,
All
because
right.
now we have all these tools,
Uh-huh.
and with all these tools, I still find it was much easier long ago.
Yeah.
Where you just had an environment like Visual Basic, and
Mm-hmm.
two very thick books, and
Yeah.
you went through the books, and then you read the Black Belt series, and once you knew that, then you were an expert.
Yep.
um,
Yeah. Yeah. I still remember those days of walking into a bookstore and then you've got that bin of take a look at all of the titles and they are version numbers from last year. It's like, oh, okay,
mm,
now we're on VB6. Well, here's my VB5 user's manual. It's like I can pick that up for $10, or
mm,
I actually need to go get the VB6 one. But yeah,
mm.
that was kind of
But okay,
those were fun days.
well, it's still fun. But
Mm-hmm.
perhaps the fact that I'm not getting younger, that might change
Mm-hmm.
also. Um, yeah, because before getting through a book, that was very fast and very easy in my memory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But today, I don't know. I've always the impression that it doesn't go as fast as it used to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and the times at which I find myself, I have my reading time carved out. Um, it's usually at the end of the day, so it's like I'm reading, so I'm just gonna fall asleep in my easy chair. So oh okay, time to put that down, go to bed.
Mm. No, when I start to fall asleep, then I say, now I have to wake up and do things.
Yeah, yeah. Versus start a prompt and then watch it go. Oh okay, fall asleep, wake up. Oh is it done? Yay! Or turn on the audio alerts. So, bling. Oh.
No, it should not
Mm-hmm.
become too easy, because if it's too easy, everybody can do it, and people are
Yeah.
not going to pay us anymore.
Yeah, I I seriously don't see. I don't see that happening. I do see that. Uh, so so there are people who can figure things out and make things happen. Um, and um, and then there are people that really struggle with that make things happen part. I don't know what it is behind the scenes, if it's motivation, if it's learning, but in the past it was correlated with the ability to write code, and I think that was because the people who you know could you know buckle down and make something happen, when that make something happen involved writing code, then they would learn how to code and they would do it. Um, but yeah, I am seeing people that are in that camp that don't know how to code, and they are just killing it with these LLMs. Um, so um, yeah, there's the daughter of one of my friends. She's um, yeah, she is just entering this without you know without the need to learn how to code, but but she has figured out how to use the LLM and then how to use other tools around it in order to make a video game. And so she was using Blender in order to create the model to make it look exactly the way that she wants it to look. And she was designing the game mechanics and then explaining the game mechanics in such detail that the LLM was able to implement that game. And then so she put in all the hard work. It's just that she
Mhm.
didn't need to write the code. And so this
Okay.
set of tools really unlocks her capability and her creativity. Um, and so that kind of person, yeah, she would not need to hire a coder now, and that's great. So she is completely unblocked and can move forward with her expression. Um, there are still people that can't make a thing happen even if they have an LLM. Um, you know, yeah, they, yeah, I can't really explain how, yeah, how this is, but they're at the same prompt and they are, you know, trying to express their intent, and things just aren't happening. They're not going. Um, and in those situations, I'll try to explain. Hey, you know, use RTCC. Have a role, a type, a task, context constraints. Um, you know, yeah, help them to write better prompts. But but yeah, there's still, you know, that takes them so far, and then it's like, okay, now I've got this. What do I do? Um, yeah, there's it's kind of like localhost, you know, colon 5273 is as far as they get. And it's like, now you need to deploy it somewhere so somebody can use it. I have no idea. Well, ask. How do you deploy this? Um, yeah. If you handhold them long enough, they might get to a place where it's deployed. But but yeah, if somebody has a need and yeah, and they are kind of in that camp and they just can't get these things to do what they need, they are going to reach out to us. And I think there's still plenty of demand and likely to be even more demand. So I'm not too worried
Mm-hmm.
about developers losing their jobs, even though it is happening. It is a real thing. Developers are getting laid off, um, but in the long run is what I'm talking about. Um, yeah, this is a tumultuous and difficult time. Don't want to diminish that, but yeah, in the long run, I believe that there's going to be more demand for people who can get things done. It's just now they're using different tools to do it.
Yeah, the tools are radically changing. That's clear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the way the teams are working also.
Yeah.
But they will always need people behind it to drive the things,
Mm-hmm.
and to explore.
Yeah. 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 I sometimes ask people to imagine if your boss had Claude Code. I'm like, oh my goodness, it would be terrible. It would make such a mess. So, okay, but you can use Claude Code and you can get the job done. So your boss comes to you. This is what I need done. You get it done. So it's the same thing as before. It's just faster and when done well, higher quality,
Mm.
and so yeah, basically you don't have less on your plate, you have more.
It's a little bit like Excel before.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody could work in Excel, but if it had to be well done and really programmed
Mm-hmm.
and watertight, then they came to us.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to say on this channel that I wanted Janaka to be to the place where somebody who is good with Excel could build something with Janaka. That was before the LLM thing, um,
Yeah.
and so now I think that definition of who should be able to use Janaka has shifted a little bit. So it's not somebody who's good with Excel, because that's also now correlated with the kind of person who gets things done. It's like, I need to get things done. I don't want to learn Python. I can learn Excel, and I can get things done really fast. So it's like, okay, that kind of person
Mm.
should be able to use Cloud Cowork in order to build a Janaga system.
Yeah. And with the Jinaga skill, that should
Mm-hmm.
be easier.
Yep. Yep. It's going to take a little bit more than a skill, but that's basically what the branch that we just went through is the beginning of that.
Mm.
It's an MCP server that Cascade implements. But yeah, eventually that MCP server is going to move to the cloud and it's going to have more capabilities, and then yeah, somebody that can get things done can just open up Cloud Cowork and describe what they need done, and it'll happen. So that's what I'm working on.
Okay.
That'll be exciting.
Mm. Looking forward to see that. And so that will also replace the what was it? We wanted to implement SQL Server Management Studio for
Yeah, yeah,
Jinaga,
yep,
um,
yeah. The Factual
but
Studio.
also
Yeah.
yeah, but also that ID with now the LLMs
Mm-hmm.
uh, might change as well.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because that was a very developer-focused idea, and yeah, I think that's not quite the primary audience anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah, so developers are among the people who can get things done, but let's expand that and let's actually shift the spotlight a little bit to people who can get things done with Excel, with Claude Cowork, with um, you know, whatever tool they decide, or with Blender. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, that kind of person, I want to give them precisely the experience that they need. And so, yeah, the big shift with Factual Studio is that the user interface is no longer Visual Studio Code. It's no longer Jupyter or Polyglot notebooks. The user interface is Claude Cowork. It's text. So
Hmm.
imagine being able to build a Janaga system and populate it with facts and run specifications all through that interface. There's no longer a canvas that you work on. And there's no longer any code that you can edit behind that. That's the environment.
Yeah, try to imagine, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hopefully by next time I will be able to show Cascade working inside of Cloud Cowork.
mm,
I just barely have that working on my Mac. So I want that to be working on both Windows and Mac. Um, and then Cascade will ship with that, and that will still be part of the free tier. So people can
mm,
use the LLM with Cascade, bring their visualizations into the LLM, and that will be the interface, as well as drive the Cascade interface, so they can build a dashboard with prompts, and then open that dashboard in Cascade and have it update on the screen. Um, but yeah, then uh, what I'm also working on is continuing that to now build the Janaga system and to um, and to populate it with facts without having to think about, hey, this is a fact and it has this type and it has these predecessors. Um, Translate that into more of the business speak and have that
mm.
be driven by that interface, that interaction. So
But if you
yeah,
want
hopefully.
to add this LLM in development environment, then people will have to subscribe to this artificial intelligence.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this the point past the Cascade version, which I hope to show next week, is
Mm,
is going to be a subscription model. It has to be. Um,
mm.
yeah. So, but I think I can make it extremely compelling.
Okay. No, because even for the free version, if you use, or the free version has no LLM inside.
Correct. Yes. Yes. So, and in fact, the for Cascade, the desktop application, um, I I intend to have um, the add-ons that you can purchase be um, yeah, be sources of information, so you can connect it to your Jira um, instance, for example. And so that that source is going to be inside of an analysis pack
Mm,
that you can pay for. So that would be the um, uh, the SDLC analysis pack. So it's
mm.
Jira and GitHub and Azure DevOps and a few other sources are in that pack. So you buy that, and then and maybe a visualization. Maybe that will also add the cumulative flow diagram. maybe cumulative flow wouldn't be part of the regular. So haven't quite decided on that one yet. But yeah, with that
Mhm.
analysis pack, now you can connect to these things. You can do these kind of graphs. You can do this analysis. Um, and that will still be desktop application, and um, that still won't have the AI built into it. So it won't be that you open up Cascade and you've got a little sidebar and you can chat. It will be that you can bring whatever inference engine you want. So you can bring Claude Cowork is the one that I'm primarily targeting, and then plug in Cascade and then drive it from Cowork.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that's as far as I want to take the Cascade desktop app. But then when when I offer something in the cloud, then it goes it goes much further.
Looking forward to see the demonstration next week.
Yep. We'll get that working.
Mm. Good. And I'm gonna read a little bit further into Cursor
Excellent.
to
Sounds good.
to become to become a productive man finally.
Mm. Yep.
Good.
Yep. You will get there.
I will definitely. I
Mm.
have a good teacher there, so no problem.
Yeah. Thank you.
Michael, thank you very much,
Yeah. Thank you, Jan.
and see you next week then.
Yep. See you next week.
Okay.
All
Bye bye.
right. Bye.